Hello and welcome to this video on Millennials Superpowers. My name is Jessie Newbern. I am the CEO at Generations Work, and I love talking about and sharing information about generations with people. So let's take a look at Millennials Superpower. The Millennials are the cheerful achiever. That would be a quick summary way to explain the direction of the entire generation, particularly, although by no means exclusively, vis-a-vis how they show up at work. Millennials are a pressured generation in a way that boomers and Xers simply cannot understand nor would have tolerated. But that's their lot in life. They're pressured to succeed. Now, with any generation, you always have to understand its childhood in order to understand the generation. This is a very short video, so we're not going super deep into that. But what I will offer is that millennials grow up during what is sometimes called the fall of our times. It's a time of relative peace and affluence. And it's a time when the adults are, and the parents that are raising them are having less trust and belief in the outer world, in government and systems to do well. But personally, they're feeling good. They're feeling like I'm okay. And they have a lot of feeling of wanting to give to their children and to protect their children and to make sure that their children are going to be okay. So there's this incredible investment. There's actually a bit of sort of like a feeling of that their children are magical and special, which is okay because every generation gets raised the way it gets raised. But there's a bit of that sort of undertone in the psychology of how the millennial generation in particular is raised. So when this generation moves through life, from its early days onward of, being in play dates, from being toddlers all the way through uniformed activities in their younger years and, playgrounds that were safe and all this kind of stuff, they receive this tremendous amount of protection from institutions, from family, from government, from, laws that change, Amber Alerts, programming for children in terms of media and all really becomes very child focused, very child friendly. Children are shown in a positive light. And there's a collective desire to correct the pendular mistake that was just made with the prior generation of children, the Gen Xers, and to invest in and to support this generation. So they show up at work, they show up as young adults and they're ready to work and they've had a lifetime of being supported and they expect this support. So this is part of the dynamic that is part of the millennial generation, but they also come very prepared to work and very prepared to do, build, and achieve. This is a doer generation. This is a building generation. This is an achieving generation. They're an outer world focused generation, whereas their parents that raised them, the boomers, the primary parents that raise millennials, are an inner world focused generation. So the shadow generation is outer focused. And millennials will have children who are inner focused because that's how it works. Anyway, they have this incredible expectation around support. And this shocks the heck out of some of the the Gen Xers in particular in the workplace who are just like, I didn't get that level of support and I don't feel like giving you that level of support. But the beautiful thing about millennials' expectation of support is they actually get it. They get it in spades, even if they don't necessarily think they do, is that they actually encourage companies to change their attitude about staff and to reinvest and to have career paths and to have more training and to have more services and soft skill trainings and also in welcoming and receiving of this new generation and supporting them. So it may not always be to millennials definitions of what they want, what they think they should have, but in terms of vis-a-vis how other generations were treated, it's a huge shift. And this all supports, again, this is all supporting their superpower, which is to achieve and to do so cheerfully, which Gen Xers could never do, nor boomers. It's super ultra critical to millennials that they start their career paths off right. And because they're pressured, it's not like one of them is pressured. The entirety of their generation is pressured. And so they all feel this collective pressure that they have to start right and they have to move along at a progressed level so that they can acquire the next levels of achievements. They can keep moving along because they know Unlike Gen Xers, who were called the slacker generation, and boomers who were like, I don't want anything having to do with your authority over me. Adults be gone. That was the whole boomer thing, in their young adulthood years was, I don't want the adults telling me what to do. I don't want your mentorship. I want to find my own path. I want to find my own bliss. I want to find my own way. But millennials need, want, and expect and receive this incredible support in the start of their careers to help them move forward and move along. And they are, it's very important that they have what's called stepped career acquisition, which is something no Xer would have ever wanted or asked for. But they want to know, if I do this, will I get this result? Will I be honored? Will I be acknowledged? Will I, move up the next career path, to the next ranking or whatever, in this job that I'm in this company that I'm in. Very, very important to them. They have a surprisingly conventional life. This shocks the heck out of a lot of people who are used to sort of more, individualistic boomers and Gen Xers who are just kind of doing their own thing, But millennials really do have a very conventional life goals, et cetera, which is connected also to their achieving, because they want to get their jobs. They want to pay off their student debt if they have it. They want to, build their career. They want to get their house, get married. They have this very they want a happy, well-rounded, conventional life. That's a big, big goal for the millennials, individually and as a generation. In midlife, they go on to be these incredible thinker-doers. They're very rational. They're actually fairly masculine. For as strong as the women are in this generation, it's actually a fairly masculine generation. And there's a lot of engineering, thinking, doing, building, creating that comes with this generation when they're in midlife. And then when they are in elderhood, the generation is known as being incredibly powerful, albeit hubristic. And if you need to look up that word, go for it. But it's the Achilles heel of the millennials, is that they're a hubristic generation. So anyway, so that's it. The millennials, again, are the Cheerful Achiever. My name is Jessie Newbern, CEO of Generations Work. Come find us on social media. We have lots of content online on our learning management system, much of which is free, and there to help you understand more about generations. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.